Somebody's listening to some crybaby music. That's an unusually tiny person on a motorcycle. Morgan Wallen, crybaby music. Herman, German, Derman, German, Der. That's all I hear when I hear country. A lot of family members like country. Okay. All right. Today we're going to talk about why forgiving your parents sets you free, even if they never change, even if they listen to crybaby country music, like Morgan Wallen. All right. Never mind. I'm joking. All right. So look, if you're still carrying your parents' baggage into the future, it's jeopardizing your future. It's jeopardizing your flow and your power as a person in the world. And again, your parents are not bad. And this is the thing about the Apex Christian journey and geopolitical Christianity. We're not dualists. Okay, we don't believe in right and wrong, good and evil. We're not relativists to think you can do whatever you want. Cannibalism's okay. No. There's an objective morality. Okay, come on, let's hold it down. However, we're not gonna be like, oh, your parents they did something bad to you and they're the bad people. That's accusation, and of course that's satanic, and we don't believe in that. Okay, so we don't live by that. That's not our path. And so, if your parents let you with bad baggage, big quotes around bad, but baggage that slows you down, it's all about identifying that and then saying, okay, it's time to take off that baggage. It's time to drop that. It's time to let it go. Because life is just a game of matchmaking. It's just a game of understanding where you are, where you want to go, and how things are unfolding for you and what been the best ways possible. So drop a light bulb if you're ready to release the patterns and reclaim the promise. All right, because there are a lot of generational curses that we are perpetuating because we haven't forgiven our parents. And a lot of that lack of forgiveness for our parents comes from guilt and shame over the fact that our hearts resent them for the things they did to us or the things that they failed to do for us, and that we have not let them off the hook for. And as a result, we keep ourselves in that pattern. So we're going to talk about that today. Make sure you drop a like, because this is the best content you'll ever find on YouTube about the Apex Christian journey. This is the only content you'll ever find on YouTube with it. And I'm not shadow banned. I just have a small channel and I do weird things. And only the very most aligned people will find me. And I told the Most High, I don't care what anybody else thinks. And the Most High was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess you're gonna. I can't have any viewers. No. All right. So your parents did the best they could. Understand that. It doesn't matter what they did. I don't know. Maybe if they try to strangle you to death, that wasn't the best. But they did the best they could. Okay. So we're gonna first of all understand that. But don't feel bad about the fact you recognize that they messed up in some areas. It's okay. All right. Your parents did the best they could, but their best wasn't divine. It wasn't the Most High. The Most High is our only Father. Okay, that is our only Father. My dad says this actually. He says, we came through our parents. He says this a lot. He says we came through our parents. Okay, we came through our parents, but we're actually from God. We come from God. And I really appreciate my dad's wisdom. I know I haven't talked to him in a little while. Anyway, God bless him. He's a great man. Society broke your parents a long time ago. My parents included. Okay, look, leading up to this point, and obviously people today are being broke down too by being allowed to be just weak, stupid people. But back then, back in the day, you just got punched and kicked and told you were nothing and beat to blood and stuff like that. And this is how it was back then, back in the days. And that created the weak society we have now, because then everybody went the opposite way, and you can't even scream at a kid. So, which is not necessary, to scream at children, but you can't even smack a kid in the head, which is actually kind of fun. You get these little heads and they slow to the ground. I'm joking. Don't do that. Don't don't hurt the babies. Don't hurt them babies. Don't you hurt them babies. Again, people who've been following me for a while understand that I say a lot of things in jest, and you're able to follow when I'm saying things that are just jokes. Okay, so don't be violent toward kids. Even if God well, God put their heads right there. You can slap them. Don't do that to the babies. They're cute. They got these big old heads. All right. So you're not here to carry your parents' cross. You're here to fulfill your calling. Okay? So curiosity is a big part of that, right? Being curious about life beyond the bounds of your of your upbringing and what people told you as a child is very important. The Bible makes it very plain, very clear, very plain. Not even Moses was able to enter the promised land, and this is actually this is kind of a dark part of this. Okay, it's a little sad here. Joshua or Jesus and Caleb were able to go into the promised land, but guess what? Nobody else among the children of Israel that came out of Egypt, out of slavery. You know, those people that were enslaved and they were praying, Lord, deliver us from the slave master. Well, they went out in the wilderness and they all died there. Joshua and Caleb were the only generation from Egypt that actually they were little children in Egypt when they were emancipated by Moses, and so they were the only two out of that generation that actually went into the promised land. And so you got to keep that in mind. They were the only two that made it into the promised land out of all those slaves that were in Egypt that just suffered and suffered, and all that suffering went to nothing. Moses didn't even get to go in the promised land. And the reason that Caleb and Joshua got to go in the promised land is because they broke free from the mindset of their generation. And as we go into a golden age, you're going to have to break free the mindset of the generation. That includes the millennial bullshit. That includes all of this stuff. All the malarkey, all the moralistic malarkey that the world is pushing on us. So, listen, your parents may never see the promise that God promised your ancestors and your generations. And that will suck. But guess what? You still can. So, let's get into 5 ways that you can forgive your parents, or 5 really important things to think about when you need to forgive your parents, and why you should, and truly forgive them. There are people that say, I forgave my mother for not loving me the way she should have. And then they hate women. You haven't forgiven mommy, okay? You're still keeping yourself in that holding pattern. And you got to overcome that, okay? So let's get into how you can do that. And how do I know all this stuff? I don't, guys. I'm just a medium, okay? I'm a channel like Abraham Hicks, like Esther Hicks and stuff like that. I'm just a channel. I just write my channeling down and then, go through that route, okay? I'm like Bashar or Abraham Hicks. I should probably do a hashtag for them in this and get some viewers. Uh, so, your parents did what you could. The first thing to understand is that your parents did what they could. They did the best they could, but it wasn't good enough. And it's okay to admit that. Your parents did the very best they could. It still was not good enough. Okay? And those two things can exist at the same time. Your parents could have gave everything they had, and it still may not have been good enough for you. I know I gave my kids everything I got, everything I had. Even when I didn't have, I would find a way to have and then give whatever I had to them. So it still wasn't enough. There were still things that I needed that they needed that couldn't come from me, that they absolutely needed, that they actually needed as individuals in this world. And so me recognizing that now that I'm a parent, been a parent for almost 20 years, it's just like, oh, okay, my parents did the best they could. So understand that your parents did the best they could, but it still wasn't enough. There's still gaps. And that's where the Most High comes in. That's where relationships with people outside of your family comes in. That's where a tribe comes in. That's why it's so important for people to have like uncles and aunts and grandmas and all that stuff around, because your parents are going to be deficient hands down. They're just individuals, just two people. So you got an uncle, you got an aunt, you got cousins, you got whatever that can fill in those gaps. And ethnic people. But anyway, people with big families and stuff like that tend to benefit from that. That's a privilege that people that have large families tend to have, is that you have more people to look up to than just mommy and daddy. All right, your parents' love was filtered through their own limitations, the abuses they experienced, the traumas they had, the lack of it, the posh life they had, whatever, but it's filtered through their limitations. They passed down those patterns to you, many of which were never theirs to begin with, okay? It comes from grandpa and grandmother. Look, I know my my grandfather was orphaned, for a period of time, even though his mother was alive up until the time I was a child. So, I mean, I don't understand that. My great-grandma was around. She died in her hundreds. But, like, I don't understand how he was orphaned. It was weird. Anyway, they were Creoles, so whatever. It was weird-ass people. But I respect the Creole culture. I'm not racist. All right. I have Creole friends. I swear. All right, they passed down. So my grandfather had some weird things that happened to him, being abandoned by his mother, but still loving her, still taking care of her in her life and being there for her, whatever. It's kind of weird that he was orphaned by his own. Anyway, uh, something just clicked in my head about the patterns of my family with mothers. Anyway, so they passed down those patterns, many of which were never theirs to begin with. So just love your parent. Well, at least understand they did the best they could, even if it was abuse, not loving you, not there, treat you like shit, called you a stupid head, and threw things at you, whatever. They did the best they could. And it wasn't enough. Those two things can be true at the same time. Number two to realize is resenting your parents, okay, chains you to their struggle. It locks you to their struggle. It locks you to their limitations. Blaming them holds them in a false place of divinity and power. What is blame and accusation? A tool of the accuser, a tool of Satan. Satan, Satan. Okay, again, Satan's not a big deal, but that's one of his tools, just blame, shame, and guilt. That's what he works with. Those are his main tools to destroy people and take them off the path. That's how he got our ancestors out of the Garden of Eden, if Eve and Adam actually existed. Okay? So blaming, resenting them cuts you off from the blessings God has for you. God has higher favor for you. God has higher power for you. And you cannot access that when you're blaming mommy for not loving you, blaming daddy for not being there, or being too feminine, or whatever it was that your daddy didn't do, you didn't do right. Okay, oh, my parents, fuck you guys. You didn't love me. You weren't there for me. Okay, well, your blessings are being shut off. You can't get to them. All right, that's why Jesus says in Mark 11:22 through 26, forgive the people so that your Father in heaven can forgive you. All right, and that's how you can get all the blessings that you want. When you get your forgive people, you cut yourself off from the limitations that they are having, and you move into a life of abundance and beauty. And then number three, forgiving your parents restores your divine access. We talked about this a little bit earlier. When you release your parents, you are realigning yourself with the source of life, the Most High God. God. I don't know if you've been in one of those black churches. They have like 28 syllables for one syllable words. God is like one syllable, but they go God. It's like they got asthma or something. Anyway, look it up online. You'll see what I'm talking about. So forgiveness restores your divine access. When you release your parents, you realign with source. You can't steal power from the Most High God. You can't. But unforgiveness can block you from the Most High's blessings, okay? So let everyone off the hook, okay? So that you can stay free. That means your mama, your daddy, your brothers, your sisters, everybody, okay? Your cousins, anybody that you feel that has wronged you. There's a good ritual that I gave you guys in Life's Not Fair. Make sure you check out that video. And it's a great ritual. It's actually something I learned from Anton LaVey. Yeah, the father of the Church of Satan. One of the best psychodrama exercises ever. It'll free your heart. It'll lift your soul, and you'll be open up to the Most High God again. Okay? Yes. I'm gonna tell you where it came from. And if you want to live in unforgiveness, go ahead, live in unforgiveness. But you could take. Look, the stones will cry out and praise God's name. If a Satanist can give you an exercise that frees your spirit and opens up you to the Most High God, you better do that exercise. Otherwise, live a life of a gummy worm. God bless you. All right? So anyway, I'm just telling you the source of that, not the source. It came from God. Anton LaVey was just the channel through which God brought that through humanity. Anyway, okay. Number 4 is why it's so important to forgive your parents. And part of the forgiveness process might require that you create a little bit of distance. Distance between you and your parents is sometimes the most loving and holy move. It is sometimes the only holy move that you can make. Because you cannot convince your parents and change their mind and get them to... There are too many, it's 40, 50 years of patterns. For some of you younger chickens, it's 15, 20 years, whatever, right? 30 years for you little babies out there. But you know, all these years of pattern, you need to create distance. Okay? You need to create distance so that you can develop yourself, cultivate yourself. God bless your parents. God bless them. May they stay healthy and loving and happy all the days throughout that period of time. Hello to Kin Bao. Kin Bao. I love it when Kin Bao is here. Kin Bao. Kin Bao. I love it when Kin Bao is here. Oh, I love the Vietnamese. Are you Vietnamese? Oh my God, are you a baby? Every time you're on here, you always give those big, cute little things. I fucking love you, Kin Bao. You're so goddamn cute. What are you? You're so blessedly cute. What are you? What? Excuse me. You know what? Don't even tell me. I've been blasting people for asking me where I'm from. Oh, you Vietnamese? I was with this one Vietnamese girl that looked like Jennifer Lopez. God bless her. She was so freaking beautiful. Oh, she was so beautiful. But she complained. She was a victim. She was telling me all these victim stories every time I saw her. Every time we got together. Oh, this and that. And then I was like, I can't hear this anymore. She was gorgeous, though. God, she was so beautiful. Oh, she was so beautiful. Bringing my mind back to what I'm talking about. I would forgive myself for not being with her, not staying with her. Oh, gosh, she's so beautiful. Focus. All right. So forgiveness isn't permission. Let me get back to the okay. Number 4, I said, so distance is sometimes the most loving and only holy move that you can make. You need to create space to protect your growth. Sometimes you have patterns with your parents that are keeping you from forgiving them, or what happens is there's a pattern, right? There's a spiritual pattern with you guys. So every time you talk to them and they do this, you always shrink unconsciously. And so creating some distance allows you to continue to be where you are and keep moving forward. Okay, you're so fucking cute with all those little emojis. You need to have your ass. I don't know how old you are, Kim Bao, but you probably need to be in bed. You're so cute. I wish I could see you and just tell you how cute you are. All right. Anyway, constant engagement with parents that they love you can trigger old shrinking patterns where you shrink down and you start to be something that you really don't need to be. It's time for you to move on. You got to move into this next phase of your life. You're about to have an amazing life, okay? And every time you talk to mommy, you shrink down to that little boy who wasn't loved. Or you talk to daddy, you shrink down to that little boy that saw the patterns that were not healthy, but you just pretended as if they were not there. So you got to cut them off for a little while. And it could take years, whatever. Do what you got to do. It's either cut them off or cut your blessings off. Make a decision. Choose you this day whom you will serve. If it be God, serve God. If it's evil to you to serve God, don't serve God. Joshua 24. Joshua tells you, right? Joshua tells you that already. Choose God, guys. Choose your best. Choose your blessings. All right. So now you weren't made to placate and comfort your parents. You were made to pursue your purpose. And sometimes, let's be honest, you incarnated with parents that had an enemy energy that was designed to sabotage you. Kin Mao. Kin Mao. I love your, I love your emojis. I don't know what they mean. You could be cussing me out. I don't care. It's so cute. I love children. They're so cute. Anyway, you weren't made to placate your parents. Okay, they were made to keep you alive until you were old enough to keep yourself alive. And if they did that, they did a good job. Thank God that you had them, and move on. Forgive them, move on, let them go. Okay, and then number 5, finally, forgiveness is not permission for sabotage. Forgiveness does not mean tolerating destructive patterns. When you forgive your mother for gaslighting you and castrating you spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, the black mother, then that doesn't mean you go and have a continued conversation with her and let her continue to do that shit. Don't ask me why I brought that up. Okay, right? So you've got to forgive and then understand that if there's a destructive pattern happening, cut it off. Like, no, okay, that's it. Don't get in a fight with them. Don't do that because you're gonna get in that thing. But forgiving them literally means, okay, I've forgiven them. I love them. I understand that they are that type of animal. I am this type of animal. These two animals don't mix. We're in two different ecosystems. That's what I say. My ex. I tell my kids all the time. Look, I'm a tiger. Your mom was a gazelle. We weren't supposed to be together after a certain part. You guys are some weirdo hybrids. No, I don't tell them that. It's hurt my children's feelings. But I tell them, we're just different animals from different ecosystems. And it's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Just move on. So forgiveness doesn't mean allowing them to sabotage and hurt you. It doesn't mean that, okay? Sometimes love looks like detachment and very strong, very hard boundaries, okay? And I don't care if you're 10 years old. I don't care if you're 12. Like, Kin Mao. Do you look like do you look like that woman I was with years ago? Because you're not cute no more. Now you're hot. Anyway, you're a woman. If you're a full grown woman, I don't know. I need to go to Vietnam. I need to go to Vietnam for real, for real. I heard it's really nice out there. Get me a wife out there or something. No, I like Filipino women. If I'm going to go Asian or Asian-esque, I'm going to go Filipino because I love Filipino women. I've always loved Filipino women. It's like 3 types of women: Mexican, Filipino, and Mediterranean-ish. Whatever is in the Mediterranean. It's usually Mediterranean, Filipino, Mexican, but it varies depending on who I'm dating at the time. If I'm with a Filipino, I'm probably going to be into like Mexican and Mexican and Mediterranean. And then if I'm with a Mediterranean, I'm being a Filipino. That's just the way I am. I accept that. Let me get back on topic. I digress. Sometimes love looks like detachment and boundaries. I already said that. And their wounds don't get to dictate your destiny. So if your parents have wounds, deep wounds, and you know they do, and you have been their shoulder to cry on, you have been their crutch, you know, they have failed to develop a certain relationship outside of the family, and you're the place that they can go to, you're their listening ear, you're their support system, that sort of thing. And it's keeping you from your purpose, it's keeping you from your power in life. Time to cut them off. Time to create that boundary. So you know what? We're not doing this. I got stuff to do. I love you, but I got stuff to do. So I'm gonna give you a quick exercise, and then I got to get going because it's time for me to sleep. It's past my bedtime. So this exercise is gonna make your life amazing. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Why do you like, share, subscribe? It's for people that are having a hard time. Look. Again, I share some really dark, hard stuff here, really, really dark things here and hard things for people to deal with in general life. And this is for people that are at the verge of just giving up on life. This is to give you a break and let you know you're okay. Okay? So if you're in that place, listen, you're okay. And life is fucking hard sometimes. And you're going to be all right. Don't worry about it. God's got you. The real God, not Satan. Satan wants you to jump off a bridge. But God doesn't. God wants you here to do your job, fulfill your mission. I know because I've been there many times. All right, so don't give up. All right, you're gonna be all right. So this is the exercise you can take to break it. And by the way, a lot of times you want to give up on life because you are carrying mommy, you are carrying daddy, you're carrying grandma and grandpa who raised you because mommy and daddy were strung out on drugs or something, whatever your situation is. Or maybe your parents are super rich people who had tons of money and didn't give a fuck about you and left you in a daycare center all the time or with the nannies all the time. We're traveling all over the world. Okay, they were in Germany and France and Italy while you were in Aspen. Nobody watching you but a coked out Venezuelan nanny. Don't ask me how I know that. That was not my experience. I'm joking. Okay. All right. So exercise. This is the exercise that's going to change your life. It's going to help to break the bubble and so that you can reclaim your blessings. So get ready for this. Record, screenshot it, record it. Get ready. 1, 2, 3. We can get into it. You're going to need 3 things. This is something that came to me from the Most High God. All right. You're going to need 15 minutes. You're going to need a journal. And you're going to need a quiet, private space. If you don't have that, just find the quietest place you possibly can find. All right? This is the process. Find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed. Sit or lie comfortably. Stay alert, but you're going to get real relaxed. Step 1. Step 2, bring to mind an area of your life that feels blocked. It could be your finances. That could be health, that could be love, that could be school. You're not getting the grades you want to get, whatever. Relationships, sex life, I don't care. Any place that feels stuck for you. Then you're going to visualize that area of your life. Visualize what it might look like. Maybe it takes the shape of a golden sphere if it's money, or a big heart if it's a woman. Doesn't matter. Relationships, whatever. Think of something, okay? It'll come to mind. It's okay, whatever it is for you. Then visualize that area of your life, that area you can focus on, surrounded by a thin, fragile glass bubble. Notice how, despite its weakness, it is blocking so much of God's favor. This glass bubble around that area of your life is as thin as a bubble, like very thin, but it's made of glass that's strong enough to block God's blessings. Okay? Now take responsibility for unknowingly giving that bubble power. That bubble is only strong because you're giving it power. And remember, God, the Most High, will never overrun your will. He will never force his way onto you. Never does, never has, never will. Okay? Because you came here with volition. You came here with your own power. Okay? And he's not going to overcome that or overrun that. Now imagine the Most High is offering you a golden mallet and a golden chisel. See yourself now sitting inside this bubble. You're going to break this bubble with this golden mallet and golden chisel. Now, strike the chisel with the golden mallet and watch the glass bubble start to crack and crumble. Not into sharp shards, but into fine, crystally dust that breaks down into mist and then dissolves completely. Okay? Feel God's warmth, God's blessings, God's favor flowing freely over that area of your life that was once covered by this glass bubble. Feel the gratitude in your heart. Imagine how your life feels with that burden lifted. Free, abundant, healed. Do this anytime you feel stuck. Then let me know what came to mind in the comment section below. Stay Apex. Yeah, I'm not going to let you go on that. This is a great exercise. It's a beautiful, beautiful exercise. You can use it as many times as you want throughout the day, whatever. The purpose of this exercise is to give you the confidence, the clarity to let go and move on and to trust the Most High to take care of you. So, are you living your life or just regurgitating and reliving your parents' lives? That's a good question to think about. If you start to see patterns that your parents had, it's time to cut them off. Time to create that space. Hey, you've been singing for how long? No. Mm-mm. All right? Golden Age humans are not made, they are remembered. We are not made, we are born. Okay? Today we remember how to release inherited limitations, how to reclaim our divine power, and how to walk in the promises of God's favor, even those before us, even the ones that those who came before us couldn't walk in. But that starts with a choice. That means clarity over conformity, intelligence over indoctrination, and that means power over pity. So, I'm Dr. Merlin Tsai, and I know what it's like to be trapped in the patterns of your family's dysfunction. I know what it's like to have God wake me the fuck up and show me with love and with kindness who I really am. In 2010, I had a powerful experience where God eradicated my old identity and reminded me of who I am. And that's because I asked God to do that, even though I was a Luciferian at the time. So that's why I wrote the book, Hey God, Wake the Fuck Up. It's the one book the church, that politics, that the parasites who run the human story don't want you to read. So you can get it if you look at the link in the description. If you want to reach out to me directly, hit me up on Instagram. By the way, I almost never check my Instagram, so pardon me for that. I probably check it once or twice a week. So give me a couple days to respond. If you really want to get a hold of me, God will tell me, and I will check my Instagram, and I will connect with you. So all the links for all that stuff is in the description to this video. This is Apex Humanity. This is Apex Christianity. This is not for gummy worms. This is not for pansies. This is not for light workers. This is for the motherfuckers out there that getting it and making it happen, okay? So if this is something that stirred you, don't ignore it. You feel it in your spirit. You're ready to wake up. Get the book. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your intelligence. Stay Apex. I'll see you in the next video.